This is Oppo X5 Pro after 6 months. Is it worth the hype? Hi everyone, this is JD, your gadget review friend. Welcome back to Gadget Rev Now. For someone who's living in Canada and only has few options, thanks to the very healthy relationship of phone manufacturers to our network companies, this phone won't be seen anywhere. It's just when you go online checking for Samsung, Apple, and Google competitors, that's where I found Oppo and I fell in love with the X5 Pro. I think as a consumer who's not familiar with other brands, although I know popular on some region, it's hard to shed $1,000 for something promising yet unfamiliar. So I gave it a go, went ahead and buy it, used it for a good few months, and here are my thoughts, my full review of the Oppo X5 Pro after 6 months. Let's dive into it. First, let's talk about the build quality. The X5 Pro back panel is now made from a ceramic material rather than glass, which feels a little nicer and tough. It is also significantly harder, and I think that gives a little bit of weight to it. I can probably chop some salads and vegetables on the top of the smartphone. I never really tried it, but I think I should. It is super slippery and the fingerprint smudge just drives me crazy. That's why I always put a free case to it that they provided, but that hides the flashiness and beauty of the gorgeous unibody design. How the camera module blended to the back of the camera is stunning. It is something else. It's like a Samsung A series camera module, if you know what I mean, with a distorted shape. The front screen of this phone is absolutely stunning. It is gorgeous. To begin with, let's talk about the protection I received. It has the Gorilla Glass Victus protection, and for me this might be the best combination, Gorilla Glass Victus and ceramic shield back. I think all manufacturers should think of this design strategy. It has a fast optical fingerprint sensor, and with my filthy hands, I can still unlock this phone. There's also a face unlock, and although not as secure as Apple's face recognition, it is fast and can unlock phone even with face mask. This phone boasts one of the best screen panel I've ever used. It has LTPO AMOLED with 1 billion colors. It has adaptive refresh rate from 1 Hz up to 120 Hz that save a little bit of battery too. It has HDR10 Plus BT 2020 and the brightness skyrockets to 1300 nits. That's pretty impressive. I'd say with few months of use, this became my bestie when it comes to content consumption. I mean, I logged so many hours enjoying Netflix and Prime on this phone. The screen is rich in colors, the blacks are spot on, deep blacks, and the video spills on the side because of the curved glass. I suggest using the cinematic display mode as it threads the line between balanced colors and movie correct hues. The default vivid mode is a little too heavy on color saturation, but that's just my taste. With 525 pixels per inch density, meaning everything is crisp and clear, especially when QHD Plus is enabled, out of the box it's full HD Plus. And aside from ceramic shield back and the Gorilla Glass Victus, this received IP68 rating. And this phone can be dunked in water 1.5 meters in 30 minutes. You can swim with it if you like. Let's talk about Android 12 ColorOS customization and the updates. Oppo X5 Pro is running on pretty much stock Google Android experience with the ColorOS. Just today filming this review, I got a security update from them. It will become one of the first devices to receive a new Google Android 13 Beta 1 update. It will be called ColorOS 13. From the release date, it will have 3 years of software updates and 4 years of security updates. Pretty standard nowadays, and I figure you'll probably want to switch to the newer phone after 3 years or enjoy 4 years of security updates. I just hate the bloatwares. This is Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, but I got a Chinese ROM. There's so many home screen customization from Oppo, from fonts, icons, and home screens. It has 256GB base storage, and it's plenty for a year of fun, I guess, shooting 4K here and there and downloading offline movies and songs, and heavy games. Of course, the more expensive 512GB storage is there, but that is more expensive to an already expensive phone. Then you'll find yourself reaching for an OTG cable to move some of your files on an external storage because this phone doesn't support SD card expansion. If Oppo provided SD card expansion and audio jack on this phone, this will be my ultimate crush. And speaking of audio, I enjoyed all the videos I watch on this phone because of the excellent stereo speaker. It is loud, it is dual firing top and bottom with Bluetooth 5.2 that supports A2DP, LE, and aptX HD. I review a lot of earbuds on our channel and I never had any single issue with the connectivity. I didn't have any lags or drop of connection. It's pretty stable and reliable even on a busy environment like train station or subways. Next, let's talk about performance. This is one of the fastest phones you will ever hold today, at least for today because of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. I played PUBG and Mobile Legends on this phone without any hiccups, absolutely enjoyed every team fights. It can play on ultra settings. And that brings me to the connectivity, as this phone supports 5G and Wi-Fi 6. I will have a speed test of this phone and I'm pretty sure it will dominate the network and Wi-Fi speed test. What I like about this phone is the dual SIM capability that other reviewers are missing out. In Canada, both SIM supports all major frequencies and you can switch between 5G on any of the networks. You can also choose the default SIM for network, text, and calls. The battery of this phone is insane. I would probably do a battery test of this phone. This is an easy 2-day phone for me. And if I decide to play heavy games and get lazy with my day, it will still run me dry at the end of the day. It has 5000 mAh with Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, adaptive refresh rate, and Bluetooth 5.2. I mean, this can go all day. The charging is pretty fast too thanks to wired fast charging of 80 watts. You can top this up 50% in 12 minutes. And the fast wireless charging of 50 watts that you can fully charge this in 47 minutes. And lastly, let's talk about the best, if not one of the best feature of this phone, the camera. Before I get to the nitty-gritty, if you're spending $1,000 to buy a great camera phone, here you go. It has 2 flagship sensors, the main and the ultra-wide lens, and to be fair, that's probably what most of us will use. I mean, Samsung is showing off the telephoto lens of the ultras, but how many times will you be using it? Maybe when you're peeking to your neighbor's room, but that's creepy. It has multi-directional face detection autofocus, OIS, 3-axis sensor shift, and 2-axis lens shift. I will be linking down below the comparison video of iPhone 13 Pro Max and this phone for you to see how good the stabilization is. It has Mari Silicon processor, which is a dedicated image processor that makes the image processing faster with lossless data. Oppo also partnered with Hasselblad for color calibration and also helped the Pro mode to give you arrays of Pro options like Pro mode or Pro Plus. The colors are natural looking with that distinct look, the reds are not reds, and the gray is a little bit off, but it makes it look good. Basically, what image quality you get from this phone is shoot and post, no need for fancy edit. It can shoot 4K at 30 and 60 FPS and my face is heavily beautified, but you can adjust it. What I hate about this phone is the selfie video recording. It's 1080p, I'm a content creator and I shoot 4K now. But all in all, this is a really solid phone with a hefty price to pay. So what is Gadget Rev Now's verdict? Is Oppo X5 Pro worth a second look after 6 months? It's a great phone with great specs, but a little too high in pricing with so many options out there. I will not recommend this to people who wants a great camera phone, but cheaper. I will still go for Google Pixel 6 or 6a. And for the price, they could have gone a little cheaper. Maybe they're following Apple's marketing plan. If you sell it high, then people will begin to feel better about the brand. I don't know if that works for them. And I will recommend this as an alternative for the costly iPhone 14 or the upcoming Pixel 7. I think if you buy it now, you won't regret it for the next 3 years. It has all the bells and whistles from the build quality, screen, performance, battery, and camera. Oppo Find X5 Pro, I think, is worth the hype. And there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll continue to compare this phone in our channel, so stay tuned. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.